Alrighty, so as you can see here, we have a dead LED. So today's job is going to be changing that out. Now, shouldn't be too hard. I've only had this thing apart like 6 times. I do also have a spare cluster because that Odo doesn't work anymore. So you can hit the reset thing and it's cooked. And every kilometer or every 10 kilometers or whatever, this goes up 100 as well. So that's pretty cooked. This is the only one that works. But yeah, I also have no fuel gauge, so I have no idea how many Ks I'm doing. So I have no idea about when I'm going to run out of fuel. So I'm going to chuck the other cluster in there and see if we can fix this flashing, because that's driving me insane. Can't see shit at night. Alright, now, so the tools we'll need for this job are a Phillips head screwdriver. That's it, really. Sometimes you need a 10mm. Well, there's some 10mm on there, but 10mm. But for this car, I'm pretty sure all I need is the Phillips head to get the screws off of here, and there's a couple of screws behind this one here. So, yeah. Spare cluster, no lights in it, but hopefully the fuel gauge on this one works, and hopefully the trip meter works. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Alright, so in this car the first few things is this panel's got to come off, which just comes like that, which is pretty easy. We don't really need to remove anything from there. Then there's a couple of screws, or there should be a couple of screws. Looks like there's not. That might be where the rattle in my dash is. So that's fun. And then it's these ones up here, which are in there, thankfully. And the reason why I've got a short screwdriver is just because this can be a pain in the ass to get into with a tool like a screw gun or something like that. So that just makes it nice and easy. So that's those two there, and then this bottom panel here should have a screw there. These in the center console here somewhere. In there will do. Screw down the bottom when it wants to come. Yep. I know it's much more uncomfortable, but it's always easier to put your head down there and have a good look. So those ones. Should be 2 screws for the bonnet latch mount. And pull this one out of the way, make it easier. And then one last one on the other side of the key barrel. just like that, we have access to this one. So another screw there. Oh, might need the long screwdriver for that one. Right, long screwdriver up under the dash here. I don't know if that's on the camera or not, but fingers crossed it is. Right here. And there's that one. We have two over here. One. Oh, that wants to come all the way out. And two. Oh. Of course. That's even worse. Get this out of the way. Get this one out of the way. I'm gonna have to unplug you. I'm gonna have to do that, but oh well, it is what it is. Alright, so that piece removed. Now we can get to this one without complaining so much. Alright. There should be our that one there. Plug there. Alright. And plug over here. Alright, which leaves us with access to our cluster. Now, this is just 4 screws and a couple of plugs on the back. Go nice and gently. One plug, 2 plug, 3 plug. That's dash number 1 out. So I have to flip this around, put our two dashes next to each other, our two clusters next to each other. Alright, and then that way when we pull it out of here, we make sure it goes in the same polarity this way here, because these are pole sensitive and they can be kind of finicky. Now this one here, our end one, is going to be a problem. So we know it goes back in this way, so we'll put it in there, we'll grab our extra LED, we'll pull it back out again, and we'll make sure the new LED goes in the same way as well, because again, polarity sensitive, these can be a bit finicky. I believe the reason why I stopped using this one is because this here was a bit worn down. So yeah, I'll just give it a bit of a clean up and make sure it's all good, and we'll get that in there nice and good and proper. Alright, so I've decided I'm actually going to swap all of these out for this. It's like a pinky purpley sort of colour. I think one of them is already this colour. Yes, so I've already got one of these this colour, so I'm going to swap these two out and just have all the one colour in my dash. I do have a whole bag of these because I used to sell them when I had a business, so we want to be careful that we're putting it back in the same orientation. So we want to hold our LED like this so we know which way we're going. Gently pull this out, put this next to each other. So as you can see, this one's got the prong face up, it's shorter, and this one goes into the LED, so it'll be the wrong way around, I believe. Let me just double check that. I think that's the way it goes. And then you pop it back in there like so. We do the same on this one here. So I know it faces this way. Grab our thing like this. We want our wrong facing up, and then back in like so. Now hopefully this works, but, and this is one of the biggest buts, is when I used to sell these, I always told people, plug your dash in, light your stuff up first, and just make sure before you go putting your entire dash back together. Is that going to go in? Should do. Right there, like that. That, and then this one, where is it? It's like there. This is the short cable. Oop, helps if I'm doing it the right way. Try and put it in upside down, I think. You line up. Now that'll be why. Got me plugs back to front. Why is this being so difficult? It should be. That one there. That, and like that. Alright. Here we go. As you can see, without that annoying beep. I don't know where I've just tossed my keys, so oh, there they are. You can see all the lights are on and lit up, which means we are good to go. We can put this all back together. It's basically just a reverse process of the way that we did it. So let's get to it, eh? Alright, so new cluster in. I've got the power on. It seems like the fuel gauge is working, so I might have a fuel gauge again, which is nice. But yeah, so that's all in. Now we just got to put the surrounds back on and plug some things in. Alright, and here we go. It's all back together. So I believe this fuel gauge is working, because when you power it up, it stays where it is. So I've powered it up, it's there now, and it should stay like that even when we get running. The only other thing to do to double check it would be to go to a servo and fill up and see if the fuel gauge goes up any further. But otherwise this should be working, because we have all our lights. Yay!